Most people are not aware of a special withdrawal loophole that applies for 401ks early in retirement. What is this rule and what are the mistakes that you need to look out for? I've got that and more coming up. When do you plan to retire? And what is your retirement income plan? Both of those questions need to have a fantastic answer in order for you to have the confidence to make the biggest financial decision of your life, likely stepping away from that paycheck and saying, I've built up enough resources to replace my paycheck and still live the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to, that I want to live. That's your 5-factor retirement plan, where you look at all 5 variables: age and retirement spending, retirement income, how much you have saved up, and how much investment risk you're comfortable taking with those saved up dollars. Those interrelated factors, and then all stress tests with sub-variables as well, sub-choices. That's the 5-factor retirement plan that should give you confidence. Yep, it's got a confidence rate of 92%. We are on track. 87%, we are on track. And 78%, caution. Should we work an extra year? Is there a variable we could change? That's your 5-factor retirement plan. But then if that says, yeah, green, yep, you can go, you're ready, you then need to build out that retirement income plan. Where are you going to withdraw dollars from? How are you going to optimize Social Security? How are you going to replace that paycheck and give you the income that you need in a reliable way so that you're not worried? It says I can retire, but I don't have the income coming in to be able to live the life that I want. Therefore, I've got this financial stress. 5-factor retirement plan and retirement income strategy. Well, if you're looking to retire before age 59 and a half, I would call that an early retirement. I'd call anything before 65 early retirement. Are you aware of a special withdrawal loophole that's available for 401ks? This loophole is called the Rule of 55. And as we work with a lot of individuals on their retirement plan, we work with individuals on all 6 areas of their financial life, but to help them achieve their financial goals. Many people have a financial goal of retiring. Some say, no, I'm going to work the rest of my life or whatever. But many of them, that is certainly helping them retire. And some of them want to retire early, right? Before age 59 and a half. And therefore, this Rule of 55, as we bring it up and plan and strategize through it with folks, many people are unaware. So here's what it is. The Rule of 55 when it comes to 401ks and 403bs. The Rule of 55 allows individuals to take penalty-free withdrawals from an employer's workplace plan, like a 401k or the 403b account, if they have separated from service with that employer in the year they turn 55 or later. So penalty-free withdrawals from the 401k or 403b if they separate service, so retire or leave that employer in the year they turn age 55 or later. Well, if that later is 59 and a half, then it's already penalty free, right? But this gives you an extra few years where if you retire at age 55 or after, you can withdraw dollars from your 401k and have them be penalty free. This is a big deal, can save you significant dollars in taxes. Here's the problem. You got to know this rule exists, and then you have to strategize and plan around it. As we're helping people implement this strategy and be aware of this planning technique, 3 common mistakes stand out that we really have to coach people through and coach people around so that they avoid them. The first is the timing is critical. In order to leverage the Rule of 55, you have to separate from service the year you turn age 55 or later. Early in my career, actually, the first time I encountered this rule, I was working with an individual, this was maybe 2005, I believe, who had said, I am retiring at the summer, blah, blah. I think it was June 1st of whatever the year. And I want you to tell me that my plan works. Basically, I'm just sugarcoating it. Very nice individuals, but that's essentially what it was. Well, he was 54. And so he's saying, I know I'm going to have a penalty and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm fine with it. And we're doing the math and we're like, it's not fine. This is razor edge here. I don't really know if this plan is going to work. Problem is, or the good news is, he was actually turning 55 in October. And so we were able to do the research and share the news with him that, yeah, listen, even though you're retiring well before age 59 and a half, the fact that you are retiring in the year that you turn 55, even though you'll be 54 when you retire, you're going to be penalty free. And that was a huge value to him, and it sort of illustrated what strategy we should implement with those dollars. So it's the year. You've got to separate from service the year you turn age 55 or later. So if you get let go, if you get downsized, if you lose your job or you decide to retire in December, you're 54, but you retire in December and you turn 55 in January, nope. No, and it's not that, well, okay, I won't withdraw dollars in the year that I retire at 54. I'll just withdraw them when I turn 55 from my 401k, and then they'll be penalty free. No, you have to separate from your employer in the year that you turn 55 or later. The timing matters. Second, and this is an easy one, it's an easy one to overlook. This loophole, the rule of 55, avoids the penalty. It doesn't avoid the tax. So often as we're working with folks and, strategizing for this, and maybe, we're preparing for this and we're planning it, and it's over a couple of meetings, and inevitably, 2 or 3 meetings in, when we're kind of reviewing the plan that we've already worked through, it's, oh, well, but I don't have to pay any taxes on those dollars, right? No, they're still taxable. If you're withdrawing out of the pre-tax side of your 401k, it's still going to be taxable to you. You're just avoiding the penalty. If you're withdrawing from the Roth side of your 401k, yeah, there's going to be no early withdrawal penalty, but there won't be any taxes as long as you've held that Roth 401k for at least 5 years. This is where the 5-year rule applies to the Roth 401k, just like it does to the Roth IRA, but those are different 5-year rules, guys. So it doesn't avoid the tax. It avoids the early withdrawal penalty. Being aware of that is obviously going to help you recognize, yeah, that's the benefit. I'm avoiding the penalty, but also it tunes you, right? You're planning to, how much should I withhold for taxes? How do I cover the taxes on these withdrawals? I'm just covering the income tax because it's penalty free, but you still have to strategize for that. And then mistake number 3 is that retiring early and leveraging the loophole, the rule of 55, means, oh, I'm going to leave all of my 401k dollars in my 401k. No, you don't have to. Now, if that's what's best for your plan, that's great. And it works for your strategy. That's fantastic. But so many people have a lot of dollars built up into their 401k. That's, evidenced by, well, I'm going to be able to retire early. So they've stayed with their company. They've got a lot of dollars in their 401k, and they're not fully building out a fully stratified personal pension plan, is what we call it, but investment strategy, investment system that allocates dollars based on when you're going to need the money. They don't do that. They wait on that because they say, well, I need to leave all the dollars in my 401k because I'm going to be withdrawing dollars for the first couple of years out of my 401k to avoid the penalty. No, you can roll over, you can transfer half of the dollars or a certain percentage of your 401k over to your IRA, begin implementing that stratified retirement investment plan, okay? And then leave just the dollars in your 401k that you plan to withdraw before age 59 and a half. Here's an example. Say you retire with $1.5 million in your 401k, and you retire at age 57, and you're probably going to withdraw maybe, $75,000 a year for the first couple of years out of your 401k, okay? So you want to withdraw from your 401k, avoid the early withdrawal penalty, and you've got $1.5 million in your 401k. Well, in order to do that, hopefully you've worked with your CFP, you've got your 5-factor retirement plan, you've got your retirement income plan worked out, but then you've got your investment strategies stratified based on when you're going to need the dollars. That is, the money that you're going to need in the first 2 to 3 years of retirement should be very low risk. The dollars you need for the next 5 to 7 years should be medium risk and should have certain features, either high income or some hedging to them. And then the dollars that you're not going to touch for 10 plus years, those should be diversified into a strategy or two that has long-term growth potential. Well, of your $1.5 million, maybe if you were going to take out 75 grand for the first 2 years, that's 150. I'd probably leave 250 in the 401k, maybe 300. I'd give yourself some breathing room. I'd leave that in the 401k and I'd transfer the $1.2 million extra. I'd transfer that over to your IRA. And I'd do the calculation to determine, all right, how much of that should be in the intermediate term bucket, and let's invest it in some hedging strategies and some equity income, some high yield strategies. Those dollars that as they have income, it can replenish bucket number 1, where you're withdrawing dollars from, or so that you can have some appreciation in the markets up to a cap, but you've got some defined downside protection. And then calculate, all right, how much of the dollars aren't you going to touch for 10 plus years, and have those invested in probably a couple of different diversified strategies that have long-term growth potential. The mistake is leaving it all in your 401k, even though you're only withdrawing a small portion of it, leveraging that penalty-free withdrawal, when in fact you could accomplish your retirement investment strategies by transferring the rest of the dollars out of your 401k and beginning to build that out in your IRAs. So that's the rule of 55. Okay, and those are three primary mistakes that people make or overlook when they're just first learning about this strategy. Is it something that you should apply in your financial life? And if so, how does it connect with your 5-factor retirement plan, your retirement income plan, and as I mentioned, your investment strategy in retirement? Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.